Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on this week's What's for Dinner. Tonight's meal was very simple. I did a crock pot barbecue chicken, canned corn, and asparagus. I started out by adding my chicken legs into a crock pot, and I added a mixture of garlic powder, paprika, pepper, salt, and after I coated the chicken very well with the seasonings, I added about a cup to a cup and a half of barbecue sauce, just making sure that all of the chicken was fully saturated with the barbecue sauce. And I did, because it was the end of this particular container, I did get a little water and add to that, just a tad bit. And I cooked it on low for about 6 hours. After letting the chicken cook on high for about 8 hours or on low for about 6 hours, I did remove it from the crock pot and place it into a pan. And from there, I just added probably another maybe, I don't know, squirt or so of barbecue sauce. I just added a little barbecue sauce to each piece of meat. Now, you can add as much or as little as you would like. For me, I think this was plenty of barbecue sauce. And then I placed it in the oven on about 400 for about maybe 15 to 20 minutes. After putting the chicken in the oven for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, or while I was preparing the chicken, I would say, I started on my asparagus. And basically, I just cut the tips off the way that you see here, trying not to cut too much, and then slicing them in half. And I did that for the entire bag. I rinsed them really well, and then you'll see how I prepare them. I actually use the exact same ingredients or the same seasoning for my Brussels sprouts that I did for my chicken, and those ingredients are garlic powder, paprika, pepper, salt, and I also used olive oil. I put that in the oven for about 25 to 35 minutes at 400 degrees. This is my first time preparing as well as trying Brussels sprouts, and I have to admit that I will surely be trying this recipe and Brussels sprouts again, because this is actually one of my favorite meals for the week. We absolutely loved it. So for this meal, I decided to do potatoes, green beans, and ham. I started by mixing up my seasoning for my ham, which was garlic, about 2 tablespoons of garlic, 2 teaspoons of avocado, salt and pepper to taste, as well as about a teaspoon of mustard. Apparently, I did not record the last, or either lost the footage of me cutting up my potatoes and green beans, but the only thing I did with those is just cut the tips off of my green beans, as well as quarter my potatoes. I added a bit of salt and pepper to taste, as well as a bit of avocado oil, and I put that in the oven for about 425 for about 25 minutes, because it does take a little bit longer for that to cook. Here you see me just making rooms for the star of the show, which is my ham. I just added to the sheet pan, and the mixture that I mixed up earlier, I am adding it to both sides of the ham. The remainder of the seasoning, because I didn't want to throw it away, didn't know how it would keep, I just put it over the potatoes and the green beans. And I put it back into the oven for about 400 for about 20, maybe 25 minutes. Now, if I had to have one complaint for this particular meal, I probably would have browned my potatoes just a tad bit more. But this meal was so easy to make. It was the first time that I've ever attempted to do a sheet pan meal, and it was delicious. I loved it. My family loved it. My son even tried a little bit of this, which is unheard of for him. So for this night, it was a really simple meal. I just used a bag of avocado. Alfredo chicken from Aldi, and I just followed the package instructions. This was the first time that I've tried this particular bag meal, and as I stated before, I just followed the package instruction, which stated to use about 3 tablespoons of butter over medium to low heat and let it steam. So that is what I did. I also just want to apologize to you guys for the raspiness of my voice. My son had a baseball game over the weekend, and apparently I am that mom that you hear screaming her head off. Per the package instructions, I made sure that the Alfredo was stirred constantly just to make sure that it did not stick, and to make sure that all of the flavors were blended well. With this meal, I did try a box of the Geo's Texas Toast from Dollar Tree, and it was delicious. As you can see here, it did not take long to complete this meal. The Alfredo paired with the garlic or Texas toast, sorry, and a can of corn. It was very simple, very easy, and we were having dinner within 15 or 20 minutes. Great meal. So this brings us to the end of what we had this week for dinner. Thank you guys so much for liking. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.